Brought to you by patreon.com/inspireddisorder and inspireddisorder.com/music.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
UFC 254, Khabib versus Gaechi happened this past Saturday. Pay-per-view, last fight from Fight Island for a bit. It was also Khabib's retirement fight. At least that's what we found out after his victory. I was extremely nervous for that main event. I was hoping Gaethje would get a win. It was looking like he was on the path to victory in that, even though it only lasted 2 rounds. But that first round, 2 of the judges scored it for Gaethje. He was nailing Khabib with some heavy leg kicks, of course. Hit him a few times with some good counters. Was avoiding the takedown for the most part. Khabib did get a takedown towards the end of the round and almost got an armbar. And then early in the second round, Khabib got the takedown again and really kind of added to his game. Instead of what Khabib normally would do, would be take somebody down, get him on the cage, get that Dagestani hand tie up, and just pound somebody away. Maybe go for a Kimura or whatever. But this time he was going for different stuff. Really attacking the arms. Of course, the arm bar in the first round. But he got that triangle in the second round, and it just locked it up immediately. Gaethje defended incorrectly and went out despite tapping. Although a lot of people were talking shit about him tapping a bunch and the ref not doing it. He was kind of flailing. It looked like maybe he was trying to fight hands. Like I could see a situation where maybe he wasn't tapping, but clearly he was tapping. I mean, he went to sleep, but like it wasn't the clearest taps as far as taps go. Like people are making a way bigger deal about that stoppage than I think should have been taken. But yeah, good win for Khabib. And of course, he retires after that one. He promised his mom that was going to be the last fight. Of course, this was his only fight that he has taken after the death of his father, who passed away from complications of COVID. So for all the COVID deniers out there, please go to Khabib Nurmagomedov and tell him you don't believe in COVID and see how fast you no longer have consciousness. But yeah, Khabib, the GOAT. I was a big, I wouldn't say hater, but I was very skeptical, let's say, over Khabib. He was very much considered the GOAT by a lot of people for a long time, way before he really ever fought any kind of upper echelon people. A lot of people are giving this, that new guy, which I can't think of his name, in the middleweight division. I think he finally got a fight. A lot of people are hyping him up real early. But yeah, Khabib, it wasn't until he beat like Dustin Poirier and then Conor. It took him a while to really fight high-end people. And he pulled out of a lot of fights. He didn't make weight. Like there was a lot of things about Khabib that were not elite professional type behavior. And he put all of those questions to rest, I think, and I would consider him probably the GOAT, especially at the 155 division. Nobody's even gotten close. The closest in modern day, or at least of his more recent fights, is his fight against Al Quinta, where Quinta on short notice took him the distance. But yeah, it's just Khabib really turned it up and got a big win. And I was really hoping for a win from Gaethje. I'm glad he got the fight. I'm glad he, because Gaethje was talking about how once the bell rang for that fight to start, that would signify that his mom would be able to retire, just for the fact of what Gaethje was getting paid for the, pay-per-view money and all that kind of stuff. Being an interim belt holder, he would get points on the pay-per-view, which I didn't hear anything as far as what the pay-per-view numbers were. The fight, of course, started super early. I thought it was like, I was, thinking a lot of these fights were starting earlier. Like they were starting the early prelims were starting at like 2 o'clock, 1 p.m. Pacific, and I thought maybe the early prelims would be starting at like 11 or something like that. But no, the main card started at 11 o'clock Pacific time, and the prelims started at like 8. So it was kind of nice to wake up and turn on the fights and just watch fights all morning, and then kind of have an early night last night, which was nice. But yeah, Khabib retired, which I think is amazing. I think that's the perfect move, not only for him but for the division, because I'm kind of tired of seeing him win. I think the division is going to be extremely exciting now. That at 155 now that he's out of the picture, and there's a lot of people that can kind of fight for that lead role now. But yeah, just kind of, and one of the few people that got out of a Gaethje fight with fairly little damage. I mean, his legs probably messed up, and he got hit pretty hard a few times, but not as much damage as I think a lot of people tend to leave the octagon with, especially from those leg kicks. But yeah, big congratulations to Khabib and the GOAT at 155. Pound for pound, the best, I would say, as well. Although I don't think he's fought. He never defended his belt against. I mean, there's still people I think that he could. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, other than Ferguson, which is a fight that was cursed from the beginning, and it's a fight I don't think Ferguson necessarily would win. Yeah, I just don't. I don't think he would win that. I think Khabib's style of grappling would probably shut a lot of Ferguson's moves down. But it doesn't matter. The only fight I could see potentially happening would be a super fight with Khabib and GSP. But that's almost a fight I don't want to see, just because I would hate to see GSP lose. I'm a huge fan of GSP. He's my favorite fighter ever. But I think that would probably be the only fight, and that would have to be some kind of crazy super fight. So maybe, who knows, maybe in another year or two. But I mean, the longer it takes, GSP is farther and farther away from competing. So maybe that won't happen. The co-main event was fun as well. Robert Whittaker versus Canaine. Big hopes for Canaine winning it, but Robert Whittaker was able to, had a good game plan going in. Was able to survive those leg kicks again. Leg kicks being a big part of the UFC of MMA these days. Those front leg kicks, and Canaine just wasn't able to do it. I'm kind of upset with, not upset, but I have an issue with so many people talking shit about Cannoneer's crystals. Like, nobody's talking about like all of these other fighters who like have, more traditional beliefs and like standardized religions. Like, nobody's like, if Khabib lost that, nobody's talking shit about Muslims and how fake their religion is because they lost. Like, when Bilal Muhammad loses, people aren't just talking about how ridiculous being a Muslim is, and how worthless it is. Even though I think being religious is just as useless as believing in crystals, but it's just like an easy target because it's crystals instead of like an old book. I'm still happy for Canaine. I think, he's going to do great things. I'll be interested to see what he comes back with. Probably just, not the best game plan. Robert Whittaker is not a tough guy to beat, and he was on his P's and Q's. So we'll see if that gets a rematch with Adesanya. I'm not as excited. I would have been more excited if Canaine got the fight with Adesanya, but it is what it is. Walt Harris lost to Volkov, got that front kick to the solar plexus, shut him down. Lauren Murphy got a big win in her fight. So overall, fun night of fights. And kind of crazy to see Khabib retiring. So many fighters retiring, kind of on top. Henry Cejudo retiring after winning the bantamweight belt. Khabib winning 29-0. Great stuff. But next Saturday, back in the Apex, UFC Fight Night, Hall versus Silva. Anderson Silva is supposed to be retiring after this fight. Uriah Hall kind of was one of the guys said to be the predecessor, the guy to take the torch of Silva with his flashy style, but hasn't really had the consistency. He's had a lot of mental barriers, I guess, for his performances. So we'll see how that fight goes. Silva, of course, hasn't really looked that great in recent years, so should be a fun fight. It's overall a fun card. Andre Fili versus Bryce Mitchell. That one should be fun. Bryce Mitchell, of course, kind of been on a tear with his submissions. I'm probably going to try and go for, I would imagine, if there's a prop bet for Bryce Mitchell attempting a twister submission, that would be a bet I would take. Kevin Holland is back. That should be fun. Bobby Green is back. That one should be fun as well. Greg Hardy, thankfully fighting lower on the main card against Maurice Green. So overall, I'm looking forward to next Saturday's fights back in Vegas from the Apex Fight Night, Hall versus Silva. But it was a great pay-per-view, UFC 254 from Fight Island. So we'll see what happens next week. If you want to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Become a patron for only $3 a month. You get to binge the full week of the Ray Taylor Show ad-free in both video and audio versions. You get a coupon code if you want to start collecting the many faces, and you can download the raw Photoshop files for all the Photoshops I do. It's only $3 a month. You get those benefits and even more. So head on over to patreon.com/inspireddisorder and sign up now. Also, if you want to get unlimited free music streamed to all your devices, join Amazon Music Unlimited free 30-day trial when you use my link inspireddisorder.com/music. That's 60 million songs. You can cancel at any time. Like I said, stream to all your devices. Sign up now for your 30-day free trial over at inspireddisorder.com/music. New episodes come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!